Hi, good evening. This is Wendy. I'm working on a painting series right now. This is the last one in the dream series, painting 8. It's strayed into a dream, and it's part 2. I'm doing these are inspired by a dream that I had when my husband first received his cancer diagnosis. And they've been in my head that whole time, and so I just wanted to get them down. He passed away this past spring, and I am. This is kind of my therapy that I'm doing, and so this one's the 8th one. I do plan on continuing to do more paintings of my husband. I think that these series, they'll sort of be broken up almost like chapters, and it'll just give me goals of things that I want to accomplish, and sometimes it's better for me to do them in small chunks. I believe the next one I'm going to do is going to be the day that we met, and so I'll work on those next after this one. But I'm trying to paint every day. Easier sometimes than others, but I have been pushing myself. It's one of the things that I have been doing. I don't always get the videos out every day because I do the audio separate from the painting. But usually I do. I've sort of kept it. It's just, one after the other. And then some take longer than others to complete the painting. And it's going to depend on how long I paint in a session. And on the painting, because some are a little bit more simplistic and they don't take as long. And others have a lot more detail and they just take, more time. And this one took probably, I can't say definitively because my phone, the memory's been off anyway, so it stopped recording at the tail end of this painting. It got pretty close to the end. There's just one little bit at the end that it did not capture. But I have a photo to show the whole end result of that. I don't have the little bit of the video of that last little bit, but I'm not waiting for things to be perfect, so I'm just, I'm filming this stuff and I'm getting it out there, and I'm using it to work out my grief, my process, my feelings, which I don't know. I know it's part of me, and there's moments where it's just completely overwhelming. And somehow, sitting here and talking and doing these videos, because to me, I'm not talking to anybody, and I don't know if anybody actually listens to these. I always say when I do this that if you just want to watch the painting and you don't want to listen to me rambling on, feel free to mute me, put on some music, and watch the painting. I'm trying to figure out a lot of things and where I go from now. And so me painting and getting all this stuff out is part of me trying to move forward. And I don't know. I don't know. I'm just having a hard time today. I don't know. This particular painting was kind of emotional for me. because it's the last one of the first of the series, and I just started this daily painting thing in the middle of July. Um, and there's been plenty of times in my life where I did paint daily, right? But I would say with caring for my husband and then not working at the studio, both of those things, I was not keeping up with painting the way I normally would have. And I mean, I still painted frequently compared to people who aren't, regular painters, but I was always doing something. I got these, paint pens that I would do things when I was at doctor's things with him when he was getting treatment, that kind of stuff. Sometimes even doing that was just overwhelming. Sometimes it was just easier to zone out on a movie and forget about things. But that's just sort of a safe zone. When I make myself do art, it's a little bit different. It makes me process emotions, things that I can't talk about, or just trying to figure out. And it's overwhelming for sure. And I wish I had a better answer. I mean, some people, say, do therapy, that kind of stuff. I have distrust issues to do with therapists. And I know there's probably amazing therapists out there. I just have my own things with that. And I even have, besides the fact that, let's say cost, and I wanted to go, just finding someone that you could trust, that you could talk to like that. And I know here I am talking to people that whatever, but it's not the same, and I'm not, because it's like I'm talking to myself. And every once in a while someone will comment something, and but it's usually not anything to it's usually sympathy, which I appreciate immensely. Okay, I'll take whatever positive energy and prayers that people want to send me. I am grateful. And if anybody feels like they are struggling and they need some prayer said for them or some positive energy sent their way, you can comment and put it in there, and I will do what I can. Because the world is overwhelming. And when you lose the people that you love, it seems beyond overwhelming. And I lost my husband this spring and my mom 2 months later. On my wedding anniversary. And in this picture, it took a lot longer than, like I said, I expected. I think it took probably maybe about 2.5 hours altogether. But it probably took longer than that, so maybe more like 3. Because I told you I didn't have the recording of part of that. But I have this part 2, which is about a half hour. And I put out part 1 yesterday, which, again, about the same. And then the last part is, I think I have about an hour and a half. I have to look at it. I have to do the audio for that tomorrow. Because it's already 1 o'clock in the morning. I'll finish this and go to sleep, or try to. And I do better painting late and doing this. It's quiet. I can do this. It's easier than when days light and all the chaos that happens with daylight. And so at nighttime, you don't have to worry about a lot of that. You don't have to worry about phone calls, and I don't know. It's like everything that you have to get done, you get free reign not to do it because it's nighttime. So that's pushed away too. And it makes me feel like, I can take the time to paint. That seems ridiculous, especially now, because I do have a lot of time. So I'm not taking care of my husband, and I'm not working at a steady job at the moment. My studio I was working at closed. Well, it'd be 2 years ago this October, the end of October. But it was good at the time because it allowed me to spend that time with my husband. And I'm not sure that I want to go back to teaching art. I'm not sure what I want to do. But right now I'm watching my grandbabies, and I'm still doing commissions, and I doing my thing. But as a regular job at the moment, no. So I have pretty flexible time, except I have to watch the grandbabies. Or I do watch the grandbabies. I love watching them. And that's one of the things, like, when you lose somebody and you think how you miss them and want to see them and want to be with them. But I want to live. I don't want to I of course want to be with him, but I don't want to die either. I have things that I want to do. I want to see the grandbabies grow up and see what my kids do, our kids do. That's a weird thing. I usually say our kids all the time. They still are our kids. But it's just so many things that it is beyond overwhelming. I'm just hoping But I just keep doing this. I keep pushing myself and making myself do things like Tai Chi in the morning, get up, take care of the animals, make my coffee, do Tai Chi and paint, sing songs with my grandbabies. And I'm just hoping that the overwhelming sadness will go lighten up. I don't know what I expect it to do. It's just a particularly bad day, that's all. And not like bad things happen, I just feel overwhelmed emotionally. And I want to be better in control, and I am most of the time, so I think sometimes when I'm talking onto this, doing these recordings and talking, that because I'm so used to just trying to hold it together, that I get pretty vulnerable sitting here talking in this. And it is something to do with the fact that there's no one sitting here. I'm sitting here by myself with my dog and cats, and it allows me to just sit there and talk to the air. And vent. But at the same time, I'm doing something productive. Maybe the talking is productive, I hope. But the painting, for sure, I think it's productive. Art has always been something that I found comfort in. I mean, I could sit there and just think from when I was very, very small, till now, where I've reached out for art, or art brought me happiness. And just me creating art. I remember in kindergarten, sorry, I'm stuffed up now. But in kindergarten, I remember when we first went in, we had to draw a self-portrait. And I remember the clothes I was wearing when I drew the picture, right? But I vaguely remember the first ones, but I definitely remember the second. Because they made us redraw a self-portrait at the end of the year. And I wish I had that self-portrait still. So I'd probably laugh. Or I'd probably smile, because I'd see it through my eyes as I saw it as a child. Because at the end of the year, they gave us a folder to show us, so that we could see concretely that we had evolved over that year. And I remember, I don't know what else was in that freaking file, except the things that I drew. The other stuff meant nothing to me. But I remember looking at that self-portrait, and I remember thinking, the one that I did at the end of the year, how it looked so realistic. I don't think it did, like compared to what I would say now, but compared to what I had done, uh, the at the beginning of the year, and I loved that. It made me so happy that I had improved, that I had gotten better, that I had, in that time, that I had gone from what I thought didn't look realistic to now I could draw someone that really looked like a person. And I remember the outfit. I had this, it was like this yellow polyester like suit. This was the 70s. And it had flowers on it. And it was yellow and white, and it had flowers. And yellow was my favorite color. And that was the outfit that I drew in the self-portrait. And just, if I was happy, I would draw. If I was sad, I would draw. It was just always something I did, and I still do. It was my first love, besides my parents, but art. And it's helped me out in so many times. And so I'm hoping it's going to help me out now. And I think it is. But time will tell. I just need to get myself to do better than I'm doing now. And some moments are better than others, for sure. And I have a lot of happiness. I'm not walking around constantly crying. Although there are, those times. But I try not to. I'm not walking around the grocery store sobbing. Although, I might shed a tear or two. Who knows? You don't know what's going to trigger it. That's the problem. And it's not like I have a handle on what it is. But what I do have a handle on is let it go. Don't, just let the feeling go through and then move on. And so I'm not opposed to having crying. I feel like it's a release. And I'm a big crier anyway. Give me a good holiday commercial and I'll cry at it. So, and that's okay. But no matter what, you have to push yourself to live and to live well. And I want to live well, and I want to do better, and I want to accomplish things, and I know that time is limited, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to work on getting done all the things that I want to get done, and a lot of that is paintings. I have so many paintings in my head. And they're not all of my husband or my husband and I. But right now they are. Um, this is where I am right now. This is what I'm hyper fixated on. Is getting this out there, painting these paintings. And I'm going to ride the wave while I'm on it. See what I can get done, accomplished. And right now, since the past month, I have gotten 8 paintings done. Now, that doesn't include, I had a couple commissions that I did too. So I'm not counting that, but 8 paintings in this series in that month. And so I'm happy I have that, because if I didn't push myself to do this, I wouldn't have those 8 paintings. And I'm happy to have them. They make me happy. They make me cry too, but I'm happy that I had that love and that journey with my husband Vince, so that I can do this. You know, and paint these paintings. And I'm just, just telling our story with pictures. And I've always been a big fan of, illustrations and kids' books, and I feel like it's not just kids. There's something about that you get something from pictures that you don't necessarily get from words, and words are beautiful, and they can accompany this. And I'm not saying that I wouldn't necessarily have words to go with some of these pictures, but there's just something that brings those words to life a little extra, and that's these illustrations. And I want to do that. And I don't know to what extent, or how. I'm trying not to go too far ahead. I'm trying to go just far ahead. I can see, I have things that, vision, but right now I'm just doing these little whatever. And these little series, and I want to accomplish that. I have something in my head. And like I said, the next one I think I wanted to do the night we met. And sort of go and do that. But it's something that I'm not even sure. I mean, some of these things, they're just burning in my brain, just wanting to come out. And that's what I aim to do. Bring them all out. And I don't know what the end goal is. There's never an end goal. I just, it's like something like I'll just have a new goal. But for now, I think they're sometimes good to have little completions though. And so by doing these groupings, it will give me a sense of, okay, well, I did that. And just go on there from there. And that's, I think, important to, help me move forward and work on accomplishing the goals that I want to accomplish. Because if I sat there and sometimes you give yourself like too big of a leap. It seems like too much, and you're just like, never mind. I'm gonna go do this instead. Go put this movie on. But if I give myself little goals, I'm more likely to accomplish it. And that's why I always say, I'll just do. I can paint just for 5 minutes, and then I can say, yes, I painted today. Now, there isn't a single time that I painted. I think the shortest period I did one was 15 minutes. But it's usually at least a half hour. And then sometimes, like tonight, I was painting for 2 hours. So, it's hard to say. I like when I really can get into the zone and paint, though, for the longer periods of time. I used to paint. I used to do longer than 2 hours. Just sit there and paint. I was pre-kids mainly, so that was a while ago. So I was younger too, so that was easier on the body. Staying up all night and not sleeping. But as my schedule permits, I can stay up late and paint and have fun. Anyway, have a great night. Take care. Good night.